The Earth, an amazing planet for centuries. We have lived on the planet believing in one thing. Although said to be proven wrong by science, I am here to argue that the Earth is flat. From recent articles like Flat Earthers, social data on the wildest conspiracy theory yet, talks about how the flat Earth theory has attracted tens of thousands of followers, including a number of celebrity adherents such as rapper B.O.B., former reality TV star Tila Tequila, and basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal. There are a couple of different explanations. One of them is a religious angle, which says the existence of a globe doesn't need God, but existence of a dome, one of the flat Earth theories, needs some sort of creator. In this documentary, we recorded students and teachers of Savannah High School on the flat Earth.
My name is Mrs. Elizabeth King Villar. I teach English and theater arts at Savannah High School.
My name is Xavier Lopez. I'm 18, and my favorite food is steak and lobster. And yeah.
Hi, this is Mr. Sircable. I'm a physics teacher here at Savannah High School.
Do I think the Earth is flat? To be honest, I don't think so, but I think the Earth is a square to me. I don't know why. If you think about it, the dimensions of the Earth, no one's really gotten to you see waterfalls and stuff like that. They just fall straight down. I think that's where the end of the Earth meets and stuff like that. It's just a square, and we're just a huge Rubik's cube and stuff like that. We're just trying to the Earth is just trying to solve itself.
Yes, I do think that the Earth is flat, and my evidence is the horizon. If you go out and look outside, even if it's in the desert, you always see a perfectly flat horizon. If it was curved, you would actually see the curve of the Earth. And I just took a flight on a jet recently, and we're up at 36,000 feet, and I looked out and the horizon was perfectly flat. So obviously, if it was curved, I would see that, right?
Pretty much, if I think the Earth is flat, honestly, it's not. It's pretty obvious that it's not. People are kind of dumb when they think it is. So my opinion is not flat at all.
I do not think that the Earth is flat. I believe that the Earth is round based on a great deal of evidence. If you look at how the Earth has, how it affects the moon, you can actually see in the moon the reason why it's a crescent is because there's an orb. It's actually going in front of the sun and blocking out. I think I'm saying this right, but you can see in the way that the phases of the moon, that's because of the way the Earth is blocking it out. So there's that. And there's some other ones too I'm trying to think of right now. Just the fact that people have been able to fly around the entire globe. I mean, it's actually happened. Different time zones. I can call my family in Australia and it's 16 hours time difference. And the fact that, that has to do with the Earth rotating on its axis, the different seasons, the fact that it's, again, winter in one time zone, or sorry, one hemisphere. Sorry, I don't have all the lingo right. And in one time, and summer in another. I mean, that speaks to that. And a really interesting thing is if you're in a boat, if you've ever been in a boat and you see a ship coming up on the horizon, it doesn't come closer and closer and closer. It actually seems like it rises out of the sea. And that is one of the things that you can always see, that's because it's coming from a round Earth.
Alright, so why do people think the Earth is round or flat? Well, there's a lot of theories as to why the Earth can be flat, but the majority of the population think that the Earth is round because of it's been proven that there's been pictures from satellites and stuff like that the Earth is round, but some people still don't believe that and they might think that the Earth is flat and stuff.
Okay, most people have come to believe the Earth is round is because they've been taught that way. Ever since they're a kid, you got a globe sitting in the corner of a classroom, right? And that means that, hey, it's legitimate because it's a globe in the corner. But in reality, the Earth is flat, and it's always been that way. It's just that some people have come along with this, this fancy story of Earth being a globe, and people have believed it.
All right, one thing I believe that has led people to believe the Earth is flat, it's like when they go to the beach and they're just swimming and stuff like that, they see the horizon and they think it's flat, but it's not. You can obviously see it's a curve. If you keep walking a little bit, you could see like how it goes around. So what I do, I swim kind of deep. So when I go deep, you can see and you start curving a little bit. So yeah.
Well, I think what has led people to believe that the Earth is flat is that it appears flat to our limited spatial awareness because we, inhabit such a small area of the Earth. It does feel like we're walking on a flat surface, and nobody believes, oh, I'm actually technically upside down right now, or sideways, whatever it may be. So I think that makes a lot more sense. There's always going to be people that are going to see pictures and things and be naysayers and conspiracy theorists, and I think that's where a lot of these people come from, is that they tend to distrust everything that they're told by the scientific community.
All right, so if the Earth is round, like why doesn't it rain? Why doesn't the water fall off its the sides? To be honest, like it does, like it just floats up, like what I mean? Like, and no one's ever really told me this. Like I just come up with these theories on my own because I feel like no one really thinks the same way I do. Because when it rains, like it goes off to like another dimension, you know what I mean? Like we don't see it happen because we're just too caught up in the rain and stuff like that, and the Earth itself. But the Earth is just, again, like solving itself and just trying to figure out what it's meant in this life, in this world, in this universe. But like the way the rain just explores itself and it just floats away and it reciprocates into, another dimension. And then, maybe there is life on Mars, we don't know,
With water and rain, this is also excellent proof that the Earth is flat. If you ever go anywhere and you measure the water, it makes a perfectly flat line. If there was curvature to the Earth, when it rains, the water would continue to flow around the curve of the Earth, and so it would spread out into areas where the rain hasn't been, or where the lake is. It would spill over the shore, keep going, and flow around the globe. So obviously, since it's flat, it stays in place and builds up. So that's a good point.
Well, when it rains, the water actually doesn't fall off the side. It actually just keeps spinning around the Earth because it's round. So that's pretty much what happens. If you can't move the camera right now, but the water's actually rolling to the end. But there's no end because, it's round, so it's just going to keep rolling around and stuff. So it's pretty much my answer.
Okay, so the question was, if the Earth is round, how does water not fall off the side? Because gravity. Because gravity will pull everything down to Earth. It's just basic gravitational pull. I don't see it would be more accurate for water to fall off the side if the Earth was flat, because then you would have a flat surface and at some point the water would drip down the side. If you're talking about water coming from the top down, it wouldn't fall off the side if you're dealing with gravity. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, so I'm doing my best here, but that's my basic understanding of it.
So if the Earth is round, why doesn't the ball, if you place a ball on the floor, why doesn't it fall? It's because life's just an illusion, you know what I mean? Like people make it seem to where it's not gonna roll. They have a little flat spot on the ball, but so it won't roll. But life's just an illusion. For me, I'm trying my best to keep my balance right now, because the Earth might be round, the Earth might be flat, you never know. But right now, if I just don't try, I'm gonna start falling because the Earth is just round. And then, there's guys around. See that guy over there? He's rolling right now. He doesn't have his balance right now because the Earth is round. But, it's just finding your place in life and being able to control yourself and balance your way out through the journey of life.
Okay, and we're talking about the ball on the ground. And if it was round and you put a ball on the ground, two round objects, they would roll past each other. But that's because they've invented this idea called gravity. The scientists have been talking about gravity, but it's a hoax. And the reason the ball doesn't roll is because the Earth is perfectly flat. flat. If you put it down on a flat floor, it stays there. But if you had a curved floor, it would roll. So, you know, obviously that's another perfect example of why there's a flat Earth.
All right, so a question says, why doesn't the ball roll? I mean, it's pretty obvious. You're actually rolling with the ball because the Earth is round, like I said. So, like, you're actually spinning with it and the ball's going with you, which makes it seem like it's not, but it actually is. So it's pretty obvious if you think about it.
Okay, so the question is, if the Earth is round when placing a ball on the floor, why doesn't it roll? That's a very good question. Well, why don't we roll? I think that also has to do with gravity. I'm not a scientist, so I don't necessarily know. But sometimes it does roll based on tremors in the Earth, so different things can happen in that way. But honestly, I do not have an answer to that question. I apologize.
All right, so why the horizon is flat and not round, or not why it doesn't curve if the Earth is round, is because, again, the Earth is just a huge square, you know? You're only gonna see certain parts of the Earth, you know? You're gonna reach one part to where it turns the corner, and that's called a waterfall. And then that waterfall is gonna turn and it's gonna reach another waterfall, and then another waterfall, and it's gonna just turn into a huge square. So again, you know, that's just how the Earth works nowadays.
Okay, before we were talking about the horizon, and if there were curvature to the Earth, we could do experiments. We could go out and we could measure the horizon from a certain point, and we would be able to see if we go to one end of the horizon to the other and measure it, we'd see that the line would go up and come down. But we don't see that in real life. When we go out and measure horizons, they stay perfectly flat over the length that we measure it. And it wouldn't take that much distance to see the curvature and see that little rise in the Earth if there was a curvature. So that's another good point why the Earth is flat.
Well, if you look, like I said before, the horizon, you can see it's kind of curved. But if you also really think about it and you're actually looking out there, there's a couple beaches you go out and you can see some dolphins flow with the Earth. It's pretty, like, that's what the dolphins are doing. They're going with the Earth. They're trying to keep that shape. And as long as the dolphins are moving, then you got the shape that's round like that. So.
Okay, yeah, so you wanted me to explain the horizon. Basically, it has to do with our optics, okay, and there's only so much that we can see. So even if you look at, you can only see a certain distance, so it does appear flat to you, but that doesn't mean that going further down you can't see it. It has to do with your eyes and your optics, and I honestly don't, I've studied this and I remember studying it, but I cannot really explain it. But the reason why the horizon appears flat is an optical illusion. It's just because we can't see any further.
To believe that the Earth is round, and it is because of the technology that they brainwashed the millennials by using the internet. The people that believe that the Earth is round know that if they get the millennials on their side, they would win because of the advantage that they would get from millennials because of their age. They get the internet to get them to spread like a virus on a computer system or like a disease, except it was with the theory that the Earth is round.
Johnny Boy found this beat. Young Lenny on the track.
I came through swerving in the butterfly though, but I gotta tell you how the Earth is flat though. 5 bands, I'ma bet you the Earth isn't round. If you think otherwise, you're gonna catch 100 round. I'm with my gang, gonna prove I'm not wrong. Like Chong and Cheech, not Cheech and Chong. On repeat, the Earth is flat. If you don't think so, we're gonna need a chit chat. Asked the homie Ash for her word, he said hat. Y'all know what that rhymes with? Yeah, flat. They got all the questions, but I ain't got the answers. To all the round earthers who want smoke, now I'ma give you cancer. Choppers like Commander, like her name's Amanda. God, where you at?
Right here. Yeah, give it to him. Yeah.
Give it.
I'ma spit, I won't quit, gonna let you all know the truth. Dropping facts like a wiki, it ain't tricky in the booth. The horizon, it ain't lying, 180 all the time.
Not lying.
Straight line, got these rhymes, and a flat earth crew, keeping it real with you. Yeah.
Real.
The earth ain't spherical. spherical, but I'm lyrical. It's a miracle. We don't fall off the
Lyrical.
side. I don't abide to these laws we were given. And gravity's a myth, so quit tripping.
Trippin', trippin'.
Flat
We're
Earth.
Smith. Smith.
Flat Earth.